Today we will start with a new chapter. It is chapter number 2, biological classification. Okay students, today we have to learn this biological classification. As students, you know that in the previous session we have learned that this is a subject biology where we have to learn regarding the living organism. And there are lots of living organisms that exist in the world. It is not possible to learn one by one organisms, and hence we have to classify them, we have to group them, so we can learn the characteristic of that group or a class as a total. Okay, so this is a need. That's why we want to generate this classification. The attempts of classification was not a new that we were doing since long time. But the problem is that we were not doing in the scientific manner. The earlier classification of the living organism that was done, that is just based on our requirement like food, shelter, clothing. Based on that we have classified this living organism. But the first attempt of scientific classification, that was done by a scientist called as Aristotle. So this is a scientist. Which scientist? Aristotle. This Aristotle has classified the living organism. He has classified the living organism based on their morphological characters. Based on which characters? They are classified based on their morphological character. This was the first attempt that was done by the Aristotle. So what he has done? He has divided the plants based on their morphological appearance into 3 types. Like which are they? You can say that he has divided it into a tree, herb, shrub, so on. So here there is a classification of a plant, and that is based on the morphological characters, how they look externally. Based on that they are going to be classified. And who has done this? Aristotle. So the Aristotle is one of the scientists who has done the they started a classification of living organism in a scientific manner based on the morphological characters. Now, the one more scientist have attempted, that is during the time of Linnaeus. Okay, you know that this is a Carolus Linnaeus. During the time of Linnaeus, that living organisms can be classified into living organisms. Can be classified into 2 types. This is very basic classification. First is called as a Plantae, and the second one is called as Animalia. This Plantae, it includes plants. What the Plantae includes? Plants. What the Animalia includes? They includes animals. So these are what happens. The living organisms, they have been classified into 2, Plantae and the Animalia. Plantae includes a plants. Animalia includes animals. Okay, this was the classification that was done during the time of Linnaeus. But what is the problem with this type of a classification? Here, this class also does not include many living organisms. Like we might have a question, where we keep the bacteria over here, whether the bacteria is plant or animal, where we keep the fungi, where we keep the algae. There are lots of organisms. They are not following under this class. They are not a plant. They are not animal. Where should we keep? So there is again a somewhat it's a kind of some lacking in this type of a classification. Okay, so these were the initial classification or the attempts that have been made. First attempt was made by the Aristotle in a scientific manner. He divided the plants based on their morphological characters like tree, herb, shrub. And during the Linnaeus time, even the living organisms are classified into 2, Plantae and the Animalia. But even this classification also lacks few organisms or many organisms that doesn't fall either on plant or the animals, where we keep such kind of organism. So that's why finally the widely accepted classification that was developed by Whittaker, and this is called as 5 kingdom classification. So wisdom, Whittaker. So let's start with the final classification, which is accepted one that developed. Okay. So this classification was done by a scientist called as R. H. Whittaker. This is the name of a scientist who has developed. He has given a 5-kingdom classification. Which kind of a classification? 5-kingdom classification. According to this 5-kingdom classification, the living organisms are divided into how many kingdom? 5 kingdom. Okay, the living organisms are classified into a 5 kingdom. Okay, so this is called as a 5-kingdom classification. Let's see which are the classes. So according to that, the living organisms, according to Whittaker, the living organisms are divided into 5 kingdom. The first one is kingdom Monera. Second one is kingdom Protista. Third one is kingdom Fungi. Fourth one is kingdom Plantae. And the fifth one is animal. Okay, you can also write like this, Plantae and the animal. According to Whittaker, or the 5-kingdom classification proposed by the Whittaker, the living organisms are classified into 5 kingdom. Kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. This is a kind of a classification that covers all the living organisms which exist in the world. And so that's why it is a widely accepted, the 5-kingdom classification that was given. Okay? This classification, 5-kingdom classification, that is done based on certain characteristic. On which characteristic it was done? Based on the type of a cell, based on the nature of cell, based on, you can say that their mode of nutrition, based on presence of cell wall, based on level of organization, based on presence of nuclear membrane, etc. These are the criteria. There are few criteria. Okay, these are the few criteria based on that these living organisms have been classified. So let's discuss what kind of the classification they have. So first of all, the first criteria on which they have classified is the cell type. What kind of the cell they have? So it was found that this Monera has prokaryotic cell. Which kind of cell it is? Prokaryotic cell. This is the first kingdom, Monera. The Protista kingdom has an eukaryotic cell. It has an eukaryotic cell. The fungi is also a eukaryotic cell. The Plantae, that is a eukaryotic cell. And the Animalia, that is again a eukaryotic cell. So this is the first category on which they are classified, cell type. The Monera is prokaryotic, the rest all are the eukaryotic organisms. Based on that, they are going to be classified. Second criteria they do is a cell wall. Which kind of cell wall they have? So the Monera, they have a non-cellular cell wall. Non-cellular. This non-cellular cell wall, it is just made up of polysaccharide and the amino acids. So the Monera has a non-cellular cell wall. The Protista, some have a cell wall, some do not have a cell wall. So the cell wall is present. It's present in not all, but it's present in only some organisms. Clear? In a fungi, the cell wall is present, but here it contains some different component. Here it contains fungal cellulose, or it do not contain a cellulose. That contains a chitin, but do not contain a cellulose. So here it's a present in a fungi, but do not have cellulose. In plant, there is a presence of cell wall. So the cell wall is present, and it is made up of cellulose. In animals, the cell wall is absent. You know that animal has only one layer. Animal cell has that is cell membrane. Cell wall is absent. So in Monera, there is a non-cellular cell wall, contains of polysaccharides and amino acids. In Protista, it's present in some, it's absent in others. In fungi, it's present but do not contain cellulose. It contains chitin. The fungal cell wall is made up of chitin, or you can also call it as fungal cellulose, but it is not made up of cellulose. Plant, it's present and it's made up of cellulose, and in animals, it's absent. Okay. Now regarding the third criteria, what they do is a nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane. So here in the Monera, it is a prokaryotic cell, so the nuclear membrane is absent. The rest all are prokaryotic cells, sorry, eukaryotic cells. So the nuclear membrane is present. All of you know that prokaryotic cells do not have a nuclear membrane. Okay, that we have done in the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. So they do not have a nuclear membrane. But the Protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia, they all have a presence of nuclear membrane. Okay, so this is the fourth criteria. Based on that, they are going to be classified. Sorry, third criteria: cell type, cell wall, nuclear membrane. Now the fourth criteria we are discussing is the body organization. Which kind of body they have? Whether they have a unicellular or you can say multicellular. What kind of the body? Okay, so here the body organization is just a cellular. They are just made up of cells. This one is also a cellular one. Okay, fungi is a multicellular one. That means they are made up of many cells. The fungi, the body organization is multicellular. In a plant, it is again a multicellular. But multicellular, they are organized into tissues or organs. Okay, and in animals, it may be organization like tissue, organ, or you can say organ system. Organ system. This level of organization you can find in it. So this is the level of body organization. They are just cellular, they are cellular. In fungi it's a multicellular. Here it's a multicellular, but these cells are arranged either in form of tissues and organs. And here in Animalia they are arranged in the form of tissues, organs and the organ system. So this is a fourth criteria. And last criteria I am writing at the top because of lack of space. There is a mode of nutrition. This is the fifth criteria what they have accounted. So here if you see in Monera the mode of nutrition is either autotrophic and heterotrophic. Both kind of we will learn in detail what mode of nutrition they have. They have autotrophic and heterotrophic. In Protista they have also like this. They have autotrophic and heterotrophic. Both mode of nutrition you can find. In fungi it is a heterotrophic. Means they cannot prepare their food by themselves. In a plant it is autotrophic. And in Animalia the mode of nutrition is heterotrophic. So the Whittaker took this criteria and divided the living organism into 5 kingdoms: Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae, Animalia. Clear? Okay? And these 5 kingdoms that are based on the 5 categories: cell type, cell wall, nuclear membrane, body organization and mode of nutrition. If you prepare, this is a very basic overview. If you prepare this much, so you have a lots of idea regarding this. Okay? In this chapter, we have to learn regarding each kingdom. We will learn each kingdom in detail. Okay? So let's start with the first kingdom. What we call it as Kingdom Monera. Okay? We start with the first kingdom, which is called as a Kingdom Monera. So let's start. So let's start with the first kingdom. It's called as Kingdom Monera. So what this kingdom includes? Most of the kinds of bacteria, the bacteria is the part of this Kingdom Monera. Okay, clear? You know that these bacteria are the prokaryotic cells. They are unicellular living organisms and they falls under the Kingdom Monera. Where this bacteria found? What is the habitat? Okay, where they can live. This kind of a kingdom Monera, they can found anywhere. Okay, it can be found into a soil. It can be found into you surrounding to yourself, in a desert, in a hot spring, in a deep oceans. There are lots of things, okay, where you can find such kind of a bacteria. They all falls under the kingdom Monera. They are prokaryotic. I again repeat, they are prokaryotic. They are unicellular. They do not have a nuclear membrane, and they have a cellular level of organization. Okay. If you see the structure of this Monera, then they have a very simple structure. They have a very simple structure. Okay, but they have a, if you see their behavior, they have a very complex behavior. Though they have a very simple structure, but they have a very complex behavior. Okay, such type of behavior you can find in it, which are called as a bacteria. Okay. If you see the bacteria, different types of bacteria, they have a different modes or different metabolic activities. Okay, it's not like that all the bacteria they perform the same kind of activity. So the metabolic activities are differ significantly. Okay, so this is the criteria of the kingdom Monera. I again repeat, what includes the kingdom Monera? All the bacteria they falls under the kingdom Monera. I am just writing down the points. You have to frame the sentences from it. All the bacteria they falls under the kingdom Monera. Okay, this bacteria or the kingdom Monera, they includes a unicellular organisms. They are prokaryotic cells. They do not have a nuclear membrane. Where they found? They can found anywhere. They can be found surrounding to yourself, in a desert, in a hot spring, in a deep oceans, or in the snow. There are lots of locations, or there are locations where there is very less possibility of a life. Even that place, the living organism can be found. The bacteria has a very simple structure, but they have a very complex behavior. The metabolic activities, what they are performing, that is different one. Okay, so this is what happens. Now, if you talk about their mode of nutrition, they are autotrophic as well as heterotrophic. Okay, they are autotrophic and they are also heterotrophic. Okay, so these are the both category, autotrophic and heterotrophic bacteria, they are present. Okay, clear? So that is about the kingdom Monera. Okay, if you see the shape of a bacteria, there are 4 different shapes of a bacteria. What are the different shapes of a bacteria? There are 4 different shapes. The first shape of a bacteria is coccus. The second shape is called as bacillus. Third shape it's called as Vibrio. And the fourth shape of a bacteria is Spirillum. 4 different shapes of a bacteria are there. Which are they? Coccus, Bacillus, Vibrio, Spirillum. Okay? Coccus means it's a road shape. Road shaped bacteria are present. Okay? Like this. Road shape. So, it is a coccus. It's not a road shape. It is spherical in shape. These coccus are the spherical in shape. Clear? Like this. They are spherical. Okay? Clear? The bacillus are the road shape. Road shape bacteria. Okay? Clear? Like this. This is the shape of a bacillus. Such kind of a bacteria you can find. Okay? This is a road shape. Vibrio means it's a comma shape. Like Vibrio cholera. Okay? So this is a comma shape. Like such kind of a bacteria you can find. Okay? Okay, so this is called as a comma shape. Next is Spirillum. That means it has a spiral shape. Spiral shape. Okay? Spiral shape, that means they have such kind of a shapes. Okay? So there is just a unicellular, so I am showing just one spiral shape. Okay? So this kind of a bacteria you can find. So these are the different shapes of a bacteria. Remember, how many different shapes of a bacteria? Coccus, Bacillus, Vibrio, Spirillum. Coccus means spherical in shape. Like I give you example. example, so it will be a lot easier for you. Like see, pneumococcus. See, it's a coccus, means they are responsible for this pneumococcus is responsible for pneumonia, causing a pneumonia. So here if you see the shape of this pneumococcus, then this is spherical because it's a coccus. The bacillus means a road shape. Okay, clear? I will give you example like Bacillus thuringiensis. So here it's a which shape? It is a bacillus, means it's a road shape. Clear? The third one is Vibrio, it's a comma shape. The example is Vibrio cholera. This is a bacteria which is responsible for causing a cholera. What shape of this bacteria? It's called as comma shape. The example of Spiridium is Spirochete. Spirochete. Okay. Spirochetes are the bacteria which can usually find in our mouth. Okay, they are the spiral shape. Okay, so these are the different shapes of a bacteria: coccus, bacillus, vibrio, and the Spiridium. So this is all in general introduction regarding the kingdom Monera. Okay, so it includes bacteria. It can be found anywhere. They have a simple structure but complex behavior. The metabolic activities are differ significantly. They are autotrophic and heterotrophic in nature, and these are the different shapes of a bacteria. Okay, coccus, bacillus, vibrium, and the Spiridium. Okay, let's go ahead. If you classify this kingdom Monera, we were discussing the first kingdom, it's called as a kingdom Monera. This kingdom Monera is subclassified into two types. They are subclassified into two types. First is called as Archaebacteria, and the second one is called as Eubacteria. Second class is Eubacteria. First one is Archaebacteria, and the second one is called as Eubacteria. What's the difference between them? The Archaebacteria, they are the specific or special type of bacteria where you can find in a rare places where the life even don't get exist. Even at that place you can find, like deep in oceans where very high pressure, or in the snow, or in very hot environments like hot springs where you can find. So these are called as an Archaebacteria. The other one is a Eubacteria, which are the really true bacteria. They are the true bacteria. This Eubacteria can also be further classified into three types. The Eubacteria can also be further classified into three types. The first one is called as Cyanobacteria. They are the photosynthetic bacteria. Second one is called as heterotrophic bacteria. The second is heterotrophic bacteria, and the third one is called as Mycoplasma. Third one is called as Mycoplasma. Clear? So the Archaebacteria, first category of a Monera, and the second category is a Eubacteria. Eubacteria further divided into Cyanobacteria, heterotrophic bacteria, and the Mycoplasma. Now that's all about the characteristic of kingdom Monera and their subclasses. In the next session, we will learn regarding their whole detail. What are the characteristics of Archaebacteria or this Eubacteria? That we will learn in the next session. Till then, students, keep learning, keep watching, like and subscribe this channel. Thank you for watching.